Okay, guys and girls, hello, it's Nick Dutch back on the camera yet again. How the heck is it going? Yes, that's right, we're doing another lovely tarot reading. You can tell I've got my tarot hat on, so we're going to do a tarot reading for you today. We got a YouTube user called Love Puppy. Now, I did a reading for Love Puppy a little while ago. It was an online reading. I think she was one of my customers, and she was inquiring about a particular relationship and to see whether I still see the same thing happening again. Now, I often ask myself, why is it the clients come back to me with the same question? Alright, the thing to do is to think about that one particular reading, to think about that one particular consultation, the things we discussed, and then contemplate the situation, alright? Asking the same question time and time and time again doesn't necessarily do you any good, okay? Because what you need to do is to have the conversation, have the reading, and then grow on from that point. That's what's really essential here. It's not just a question of, let's ask the same question, see if the same thing comes through. I'm tempted to say it doesn't work like that, but that's a bad analogy. It isn't very psychologically healthy for you to do things that way. Alright? But what the hell, this is a free reading. I'm here to demonstrate what readings are like. That's why I'm doing this. So, let me just show you what I can see. Alright? Obviously, if you were coming back to me on the telephone or on the internet and asking the same question time and time and time again, I would probably block you. Now, the reason I would do that is because I would know that I would not be doing you any good, and that essentially I would just be taking money from you for basically nothing. And I think that's wrong. I think a reading should be about giving you the chance to think about your situation, what's happening in your life, whether it's through reflection upon what I say, or the internal reflection that you go through when you hear my words. Or whether there's something else in the whole reading, or just the experience of being there and having that reading which allows you to think more about your situation. I think that's what's really important, and I think that's part of my raison d'etre, my reason to be, to do this particular type of work, to give you that one moment that you can't always get with even a counsellor sometimes. Alright, that's why I'm doing it. I mean, yes, I have been experienced some training in counselling as well. And that's also very helpful for me. But I'm doing this in a particular reason. Giving the cards a quick shuffle now. We'll just see what's coming through. And yes, all I'll do is tell you what I can see. As is tradition. I've got no idea what the card's going to say. Alright. If I was to tell you the message and the meaning of the reading, it's to say that there is going to be some kind of communication and or happening between you and this one particular person with the passage of time. At the moment, the energies between you is talking about a sense of conflict, but with the anticipation of there being victory. Now, that's at the moment, it's a question of anticipation. The cards which I have laid down here, let me just show them to you. There's your side of the reading, there's his side of the reading. Don't know if you can see all those, but there you go. Then there's the card which I regard as being the forces between you. It defines or describes the relationship in the here and now, okay? That's all now. So anything else that this is alluding to is talking about potential for the future. And even the way that the future part of the reading is laid out, it's still talking about potential rather than actual, okay? So you've got to get it through to yourself that people like me don't turn around to you and say that on Thursday the 20th of whichever month, your favourite boy is going to be wearing blue underwear and will eat a curry at 4 o'clock. Alright, it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that, full stop. Alright, this is the opportunity to consult yourself through reflection upon what somebody else says. Alright, and the future part of the reading is very stormy, actually. It's talking about, yes, there is communication. It is in the short-term future. We do have love signs, but there's also an allusion there to possibly some unhappiness, possibly some disappointment, possibly a feeling of stress. But it's going to be a bit of a winding path, according to the reading, because your short-term future and mid-term future signs, that's 3 months and 6 months down the line from now, or up to that, because I only ever give pessimistic time frames. Very communication orientated, because they're both in the suit of swords. We have a good male significator next to a good female significator within the same suit and of the same age range, which suggests to me that this is the same individual, and you're going to be having your communication with this person on and off during a 6-month period. Now, as far as, is it as simple as are you going to get back together again or not? No. Alright? Because it's not that simple. Five of Cups, very strong, loving sign. Definitely it's within the suit of Cups, and Cups means love. It's the equivalent of hearts on a regular pack of playing cards. In this case it's labelled disappointment, with a lot of dark colours associated with it. So there's something about the way the connection has happened which means that things are rather fragile. Maybe there's subjects in which you disagreed upon, or some directions that your life partner's gone or that his life partner's gone that doesn't quite sit right with either of you. That means you've got things to work out. And that requires, yes, you've guessed it, talking to each other. The one and only thing that people in relationships absolutely hate doing, alright? Talking about stuff. Now, I've expanded the reading a bit further because that seemed a bit politically convoluted, a bit psychologically and emotionally convoluted. Let's see what was happening further on down the line. And this is where the good news comes in. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not necessarily the light at the end of the tunnel that you were necessarily looking for, which again means more hard work needs to be done. You know where the issues are, he knows where the issues are, now it's a question of working on them. What does the Fool card signify? It signifies an almost childlike state of happiness. Now, a childlike state of happiness can happen out of naivety, but I don't think you've got that. There are a few things you're missing out on, but you definitely aren't naive. Or it can happen through sweeping the difficult stuff under the carpet and just accepting things the way they are and moving on from there. And yes, there is a sense of togetherness associated with it. Remember, this is a reading which is there to answer one particular question, and as a result of that, I've got to apply the meaning of that question to the meanings of the symbols that I've got here. It's a love reading, we've got some good signs for you. But that's a fair way in the future, and yes, you're going to get back together again, according to the reading, but there's so many little clauses happening here, you've got to think about that as well. Alright? It's not going to be easy, but there's some good stuff there, and yes, there is a sense of connection on his side of the reading towards you. Pure heart signs, alright? Pure cup signs. And that's good. We've also got some red colours there, and that can mean passion if you get my drift, you know? Baby. Alright, but that's essentially the overview, put in a much more, I suppose, in-depth manner. Alright, when I'm doing a text chat reading, when I'm doing a telephone reading, I can't always convey everything there because, you know, it's a conversation. When I'm doing it on the camera like this, it's one way, and maybe I can actually be a little more direct sometimes. You know, basically a very interesting reading and very challenging for me to do for you, and I'd like to thank you for asking me this question again because it's given me an opportunity to elaborate a little more. So, once again, as is traditional, good fortune, God and or Goddess, and or none of the above bless. Nick Dutch, signing out for now.